New Zealand, diversity, peace. Those words didn't come from me. I heard them from the commissioner. And if those words means anything to you, then I will start by saying, let me just tell you a little bit about me. Living as a refugee, I was interviewed by media with former Attorney General of Commonwealth, Philip Ruddock, in 2012. We were speaking about something called queue, the issue of queues jumping. You heard that from Australia. I told the media that when you are running away from war, and when you are running for your life, and knowing that if you stay, you will die, you don't see queue. You don't see form, you don't see procedures, you don't see queue. You just see your life. It's you against the whole world. And if you want to survive, no matter what you have to do, you will jump over the fire. Because life is precious to every one of us. When I escaped from South Sudan in the back of a truck, I was not waiting in a queue. When I waited in refugee camp in Kenya, I was not in a queue. I wasn't lining up. I didn't see any queue. I said earlier about the queue, that you don't see it because it's a myth. Because every single person deserves freedom, deserves equal treatment, deserves to be treated like another human being. In the country where I came from, Australia, there is an unexplained fear of asylum seekers and migrants. But I always said, they are not invaders. They are not here to invade you or I. They're coming with their dear life, just hanging onto it. When a person comes with their hands up on their head, they're not threatening anyone. They need help. And those approaches, as Commissioner has indicated, that the police culture should not be culture of warriors. Because who are you fighting against? You're protecting, and you're leading the way, and you're helping. Your motto should be about helping the people that are not helping themselves, about bringing peace between people who had a conflict, and bring them to court, because the court is the one that will resolve the issues. You shouldn't be in war with a community that you're supposed to protect. And I'm not making any comment about that particular person that puts a queue with kids on the bike. So I think this country is on the right track, because adopting that culture of America, of warriors, is dangerous. It brings people like myself into resistance, because I don't like authorities. I don't like them. Because if they force me, they shoot me, they want to kill me, and then I have to retaliate. But authority, you respect because they're there to do the right thing, that an authority forward. And that is what New Zealandese. So I commend you very much, sir, for your hard work. So I've learned that fear is an issue. A fear that Deng is coming to do something to New Zealand. I'm just only one here. So if you have such a fear in your head that I'm here to turn the table around, no, just relax. I won't even swim. I won't even get far the river because I can't swim. If the fear exists in society because somebody wants to plant it in you, and then we don't want that. These fears, they inflame people, they make other people angry, they make the people that don't make decisions on their own, but are fed by others to make a decision, to be part of them. As a child in the army, I had no education. I didn't learn to read or write. The only lesson I had learned was about how to operate a gun. And later on in life, when refugee came in Kenya, there were some classes, but I was never enrolled. Obviously, you know that nearly I gave up going to high school here in Australia because I didn't fit in. I was 14 and put me in year 7. So I ran away. If I have to talk about what makes this country great, and then I have to resolve this. When I was back in Blacktown, in New South Wales, I had too many jobs. One job that I had obtained was working in Newcastle. I used to drive for 2 hours just to go and catch chicken. When I was catching those chickens, there were no race in catching chicken. They were just chicken. And we were all working to make a living. But there could be races if the man that is working with me said, well, you're not supposed to work today because black people can't catch chicken. But I can catch chicken, I got 2 hands. I'm making this as a joke, but it's not a joke. It's just things that we don't talk about. That's what makes them racist. But if we have a dialogue, and then that's not racism. I will never be racist, obviously, for 5 reasons. 1, said before, it's a disease, so I don't want to be sick. 2, I said before, only uneducated people, uncivilized people are racist. Just because you have the PhD, you think you are educated? It's a piece of paper. You have to achieve your mental peace in your mind. When you achieve that and you have a PhD, yes, I will acknowledge you as a doctor. But otherwise, you're a doctor with a racist disease in your head. So I don't recognize you. When a commissioner stands and fights for the right things, to tell the people that a cow that killed nearly 1.2 million children should not walk in our street, and our police responded to it, or other members of the community responded to it. That is a fight that we have to bring forward. It's a fight worth dying for. It's a war of words. It's a war of mind. A war of principle. A war where we all equally have to work together. Not to inflame the community into another disaster. A nuclear disaster is better than a race disaster somehow, because Hiroshima has recovered. But we haven't recovered yet from racism and discrimination. Why is that? Because I'm going to leave these words with you. Nothing that comes easily is worthwhile. The most valuable thing in life takes work. I do not mean, as I have always said, to vindicate any calamity on a honorable community such as this, or upon any individual such as the two commissioners, or any more than anything on this community at large. Who would be wrong to say that New Zealand has not achieved her goal? Who would be wrong to deny that? You're too far, you're far away from the racist countries, from North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Australia. You are too far away from those countries. You are a model for the next human race because your diversity speaks by itself. You are a work in progress where everybody can model their country. I may be wrong in my opinion, but I'll take my opinion serious because I have observed, I've seen it. You haven't locked up refugee in any island, you welcome them. You haven't locked up children in detention centers, but you desire to welcome them. You haven't locked up indigenous people or indigenous children, just like other normal countries. You haven't went on a rampage, killing those who consider themselves as Nuer because you are Dinka, and eliminate them. And you didn't also become a Nuer that went and killed Dinka because you want to pay back. You are not. You are New Zealand. You can't leave any debt in your hand. I say, the spirit of New Zealand is impeachable in this very moment. If you try to impeach it, try it. But however, you need to take a pain in your work, in your duties at international level, because you now become a role model, become a platform for everyone. That means you got to stick your nose, the beautiful nose that touched my nose today, that greeted me. You got to stick that nose there. Tell them that they're wrong, you better, because you are better. For my part, ladies and gentlemen, I feel and I hope for your country, as much as any other person that inhabited. As I become educated, I can see, just like my elder said this morning, that the birds live in the bush or on the trees. It could be a falcon, it could be a sparrow, but they don't discriminate each other. They love the nature and they live together in harmony. They don't say, well, you're a cockatoo, I don't like you. They don't discriminate one another. That seems to be in New Zealand. But if there's a bully bird that's so big, I want to kick the other small bird out. And then the other birds should gang on him, the good birds, to get rid of the bad birds. And I think that is a New Zealand system. It should work better that way. In ending my speech, I have to say about my recent return to South Sudan. When I visit South Sudan, I got to spend time with a lot of my friends from the past. An old friend recognized me as I was walking down the street. He escaped to Kenya, just like myself. He was educated and became a lawyer. And I was saddened to see that he had nothing. He had no books in his library. And he happened to be a good lawyer that I needed support. So I opened my doors and I helped him. So I asked him whether I could build a library for him. So I'm building a library. And that is for him to be able to educate other people. Because education is important. It's the future for all of us. I didn't know that I would be able to stand on this podium today. I didn't know that. But what brought me here is because I took opportunity to educate myself, to teach my mind, to wipe out bad memories, the hatred that I have for my enemies. I had enemies. I had boundaries ticked. I know I'm not going to go to that direction. I become segregated, become almost like my life become apartheid by itself. But with the help of education, I am a free man. I am free. I'm free to say what I want to say in a right way. I'm free to help other person by acknowledge them, and they acknowledge me. I'm free so much that I told the person that conscripted me into the army that he should put down his gun, and I gave him a Cartier pen in front of him, and he's a general. He refused to do that. So I wrote a book recently. I painted him in a book. But I know that I'm not going back to that country. So if I have to migrate from Australia, it will be New Zealand. That will be my destination, not South Sudan, because he will kill me. My story is a story of other people like me, thousands of children that went through the same process, other refugees that went through the same. It's a story of everyone that I took. I just had an opportunity to tell it. It's about peace and war in those countries. It's something similar to reading Leo Tolstoy. Leo Tolstoy, right? Yeah. But Leo Tolstoy's story is a big story. He had a big book, too big to read, but what I can take it from that book is that about peace. It's about harmony. And it's about this. In your life, the most valuable thing that you learn is when people question you what you are capable of, what you can achieve in life. I say to you today, don't ever listen to people that say no. If somebody say no, that you can't do it, and then you will not be able to do it. You fail immediately. Sometimes that no will be coming from other people. And there will be people who doubt you. But a lot of time, it comes from you yourself. And if you accept no, it will ruin your life. So, don't listen to self-doubt. Always say yes to yourself. I'm not copying President Obama when he say yes, we can. But I say, in my life, where I pass, where I walk, I have no in my vocabulary. I have no negative. I have not stopped learning since I came to this country, Australia. I took a challenge upon Andrew Fraser, the man that say that the African people are inferior. They have a lower IQ. That's a racism in his mind. So the 18 years that I spent in Australia, I will tell you in summary, and this is my end of my speech. I did English course, completed it. Did advanced diploma in accounting, completed it. Did Bachelor of Law, completed it. Did graduate diploma in legal practice, completed it. Did Master of Criminal Prosecution, completed it. And doing another Master's of International Governance, and I will finish it next year, and I'm going for a PhD. Race is not going to stop me. It's me that's going to stop myself. So let me tell you one thing. They will tell you something bad. But if you take that as a proper foundation that you're going to build your life on, and then you fail, and you fail humanity. Because humanity is in your hand. And this country, New Zealand, it should be the model of humanity at this stage. So I want you to wrap your nose together. With other words, I know you don't have a bigger population, but your nose can stick up there. You're better. Thank you very much for having me here.